What is going on? Welcome back to the EOS Phoenix channel. It is Saturday, beautiful evening, December 1st. I want to give a shout out to all my EOS family out there. Hope everybody's doing well, holding up strong in the crypto winter that we have right now. So if you like this content, consider hitting that like button. And before we start, I want to give a special shout out to EOS Talks, Crypto Fees, the crypto type, EOS Apologists, and others who may be from the community. Thanks for tuning in. And consider subscribing to this channel if you find the content useful. So I'm going to be heading out tonight, but I want to do a video anyway. Let's start with something I think we should always start out these talks with, and that's looking at blocktivity.info to track the activity of the network relative to all different projects. And we can see that EOS, we have around 45 million operations, which is crazy. And this is during the last 24-hour period. And you can see our average is actually 32 million. So we're actually above the 7-day average, which is good. And we're only around 2 million away from our record number of operations. Our market cap's hovering around 2.7 billion. And you can see our usage, our capacity utilization index, which is a ratio of blockchain daily activity to the total blockchain capacity. We're still in the green. Many of the other DPoS systems you can see here are also relatively healthy. You can see Bitcoin is throttled back a little bit from being on the extremes, but it's still in the red. But it is a small fraction of what we see on the delegated proof of stake chains. In terms of the price, we've seen a lot of action over the past few weeks. You guys know I don't like to talk about price, but if we're going to look at it, we've been hovering, around the $3 mark and change. And to be quite honest with you, I am expecting the price of EOS to actually fall potentially more in the short term. So I would say anybody out there who's watching this, it's good for us to brace ourselves for the crypto winter, as they would say, because what's going on right now, and this is just my opinion, of course, what's going on right now is you have a lot of people who got into cryptocurrency, some of them early, a lot of them crypto vets, a lot of libertarians, a lot of freedom-loving people, good people, and a lot of them got involved in EOS. I have been in the crypto space since 2012, 2013. I've seen a lot of these things, and what happens is, and I think what happened in this particular instance is you have a lot of these people who saw the huge run-up, and some of them actually quit their jobs. A lot of them were talented, and they launched their projects thinking that the price of crypto would continue to go up. And what we actually saw is, crypto in particular falling a bit. You saw crypto falling a bit, and obviously many of those people had all their wealth or a good percentage of their wealth in crypto. So this caused some challenges for a lot of them because they want to be able to sustain operations, but it's very difficult with falling crypto prices. But like anybody who's running a business, they have overhead, they have rent to pay, and a lot of them have families. And so when you get this type of a situation, you have a downward pressure because a lot of them have their wealth in cryptocurrencies, and they're having to sell them every month to pay rent, to support their families and basically to maintain their own existence. And so that's why, a lot of people in 2017, late 2017, and even early 2018 had asked me when EOS was rising, when I would quit my job and start doing that stuff. And I always looked at it very cautiously because of the fact that I know how volatile crypto is. And so I never put in more than I could afford to lose, first of all. And second of all, I didn't count on this mode of being able to just quit and drop everything I was doing and just devote my time to cryptos unless I had a solid business model and I understood the technology enough to develop on it. And I'm still not at that point. So, but I think a lot of people did that, including in EOS. And so you have a lot of organizations in EOS right now that were assuming a high token price and probably hold a good amount of tokens. And I think they're under some pressure right now. And so that combination of things, you have a crypto winter in general, but then you have a huge amount of these people who probably thought that the price would be higher at this point, puts a natural pressure on the price because all these people are selling and you don't have as much demand for the tokens during this time. So I think that's what you're seeing is going on right now. I also have, my own personal opinion, some concerns with the backup BPs because a lot of them don't get a huge amount of compensation. There are opportunities maybe for many of them to find opportunities to I guess, contribute and create value outside of being a block producer. But with less personnel they have on their teams, that is also challenging to do both, to maintain your role as a block producer and also create opportunities outside being a block producer to sustain your operations is asking a lot for smaller teams. And that's why early on for us in Phoenix, we just decided not to continue going down the path of trying to become a block producer at this time. We felt like it was something more of an interest to educate the community on the news, how the token ecosystem and community is evolving, and education opportunities as well. So there's other things you can do. And the way I was looking at BPs in general was more like a utility role where it's really a public good type role and it's not really a role to make a profit per se. You're developing infrastructure on behalf of the token holders and you're reinvesting your rewards into tools and other things that can help people. So, but the long end of the story is you can expect more months here, I think, of this decline in prices unless we have something really big hit the market. Maybe Block One is that catalyst where they release their wallet and their app sometime next year. And maybe that propels a lot of mass adoption and you have a huge demand for the tokens. But I think you're going to see more of this, I would say, early adopter capitulation because they have to fund their normal day-to-day expenses. Okay. So I think that's what's going on there. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Other news that we have going on right now. Now we had on the blog here for EOS Canada, the EOS block producer tips and news, deploying the EOS forum to a system account. So I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but it talks about EOS Canada working on a smart contract for the on-chain referenda for the EOS mainnet. And they have mentioned that now it's ready to become a system contract. They've created this multi-sig proposal for review by the block producers. And they're basically running this through a proposal. It's looking to accomplish and basically proposing three main components. So obviously creating the forum accounts, the RAM to store the contract and the ABI files, and then the smart contract and ABI files deployment to the chain. So you can read more about that here. I didn't post it in the description below, but you can go to eoscanada.com, and it is under their deploying EOS forum to a system contract. You can also probably find it on their channel. Now, what's interesting is this did hit the BPs for a review. This was very recent. They posted this, I guess, on the 29th. And as we all know, today is December 1st. And EOS Authority, shout out to these guys as well as EOS Canada, has released a status on this proposal review by all the BPs. So you can see that we have a couple BPs that have already approved this proposal. So EOS Nation, EOS Canada, EOS Titan, and Cypherglass, the 4 BPs thus far that have approved that proposal for the referendum. This would allow, and this is a huge milestone in my opinion for the community, because it would allow us to, and I guess I should have mentioned this, it allows us a method to essentially have a forum contract, right? That proposals can be put forth and I believe voted. And if you check out some of the recording contracts, you get a sense for, again, many of those components. So let's see if this will actually come up on my computer. So yeah, they have these recording clauses and syntax here. Again, I'd encourage you guys to take a look at that. Here's the general location where you can find those. And then I'm going to finish up here with crypto tabloids. So first matter of news here. We have Fidelity Investments indicating they're looking to expand their upcoming trading platform with Stellar, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, and Litecoin. So this is written on November 30th. It also talks about DJ Khaled and his him being charged by the SEC for promoting cryptocurrencies without revealing he was paid. Let's go down to the good stuff and see if we can find this section that talks about this expansion of role. Let's see here. Here we go. Fidelity Investments looking to expand its upcoming crypto trading platform with the likes of what you see there. CoinDesk recently spoke to Tom Jessup, head of Fidelity Investments' digital asset trading platform. An entity called Fidelity Digital Asset Services will be launched in 2019. About the full scope of digital assets said platform will support. I think there's demand for the next 4 or 5 in rank of market cap order. So we will be looking at that, responded Jessup. While confirming that more than 13,000 of their institutional clients have shown interest in cryptocurrency, he added that this interest has been mostly focused on the top 2 market cryptocurrencies. This explained why his company will be initially looking to limit the scope of cryptocurrencies on offer. And he quotes here, "We've had some interest, but we don't think it's a groundswell of interest, so our focus is really on call it 5, 7 before we start building capabilities for the tail, but I think it will come." So again, that includes EOS among others. We fluctuated in terms of our position, but that would be an interesting I guess newsworthy item. I'm personally not huge on the institutional stuff. I don't think we really need it, but I know a lot of people get giddy about that, and that's their big thing. So if you want to know more about that, you can check out that article. And I did have one other article, but I must have not. Oh, you know what it was? It was ACON. Although I couldn't find an actual official article on this, on the internet, but I did find something from EOS DAP Stars, who's also part of the crypto